Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Nakwam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts. Add another cold cut, giving, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach Malak Yahushai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David. That's been in this truth for decades and decades. Patiently waiting for the second coming of Mashiach Malak Yahushai. The hearty, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnify the ministry, and presenting their body as a living sacrifice. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying. They're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Akwath out there, the sincere sisters out there, married and unmarried, holding it down in the households, reverencing their husbands, being submissive, being diligent, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to everybody tuning in live. We got Next Israel, Jean Corlies, Slakia for the mispronunciations, Yeremiah, Elijah Jones, La Voy, Du Disciple, Gabar Ban Lawyer, Heaven 77, The Truth, Be Real, Richard Perez, Tribe of Levi, Heaven 77, Gabar Ban Lawyer, Rocco Merriweather, K Rock the Don, Kodash Zion, and everybody else tuning in that will tune in. All praise to Yahweh Bashmi Abushad. The topic of this cold cut is do not quit, right? A very serious message. Do not quit, a very serious message. And I wanted to do this video. I want to go live into this topic last night, but the spirit didn't suffer me to do so. But the spirit is on me to go into it today. And seeing the times that we're living in, I'll do it most I willing to current events and dive into it, but brother should be watching nevertheless, right? Should be seeing the blood moons consecutively running back to back. You should see what's going on, and I believe that's Iran with all of the women drunk off the Babylonian wine, burning their hijabs into the fire. You should be able to see Russia mobilizing troops and being ready to conscript men and civilians and get them ready for war. You should see these different events transpiring on the earth and understand that you're living in the last days, right? You're living in the end of the world, right? And we can't say that enough. And with that being said, first and foremost, let me get this precept in 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, right? Let's go to the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, Salakia, chapter 3 and verse 1, right? This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 1. It reads, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come." Right? You're living in the last days. The last days technically started during the time of Yahushua and the apostles, right? But this is more so of the climax, right? You're approaching the end. You just about every major prophecy, not all of them, but just about every major prophecy is coming to pass. And these prophecies are rolling. They will come to pass, man. The Lord said in Isaiah, I want to get another precept, Isaiah chapter 48 and 3, right? Quick precept. Then I want to go back to 2 Timothy chapter 3. Isaiah chapter 40, let's see, Isaiah chapter 48 and verse 2. "For they call themselves of the holy city and stayed themselves upon the God of Israel. The Lord of hosts is his name. I have declared the former things from the beginning. And they went forth out of my mouth, and I showed them. I did them suddenly, and they came to pass." And the Most High declares these things from the prophets, man. He declares former things from the beginning. He declares via the second coming of Yahushua via particular prophets, man. The Lord used Noah. He used Enoch. He used Elijah. He used Jeremiah, Isaiah, right? And many other men. They went forth. They're the oracle and the conduit and a voice piece of the Most High. So when the Most High speaks about the end of the world and the last days and all hell breaking loose and destruction, whether it's from Ezra or Habakkuk or any other prophet, the Most High said that these things will happen, man. He said they went forth out of my mouth, and I showed them. I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. So you're living in the last days. You see the prophecies coming to pass. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. right? Now, this word perilous, it means dangerous, evil, sinister times. And these are the times that you live in now. And these are the times that also, draw nigh on the earth. I want to go into this word perilous, right? Bear with me.
Strong's G 5467. Chalepas. Chalepas.
Right? Chalepas. It means harsh, fierce, savage, dangerous, troublesome, hard to bear, hard to do, to take, to approach, dangerous, difficult, furious, savage. Okay, Salaki, right? See that Satan cometh immediately, man. Right? Satan cometh immediately. But we back at it, right? We are not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. And as I was saying, this truth is about endurance, right? This truth is about endurance, and it's not about how you start. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish at the end of the day. A lot of brothers and sisters, you come in and you think it's a sprint. This truth is not a sprint, man. It's not about how much you can know the quickest, man, or how much precepts you can memorize in your first, couple of years, man, or how soon you can find a wife, or for you sisters, how soon you can find a husband. That's not what it's about, man. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish. The Lord don't care about how you started if you fall off the truth in the last minute. This thing is about endurance. You cannot have thoughts and the mind of a reprobate and you're lusting and still holding on to the things of the world, man. Right? St. Mark 13:13. And I want to get a few examples. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that what? Shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Right? It doesn't say, okay, you just endure for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 3 years, 30 years, 40 years, 10 years. It doesn't matter if you don't endure until the end, small or great. Right? Let's go to the book of Hebrews. Right? Actually, I'm gonna get an account. Right? Let's go to the book of Acts. Right? Chapter 7. Right? Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 7. And I want to go to verse 20. Right? Acts chapter 7 and 20. So brothers have to ask themselves, do you really know what this thing is about, man? Do you know what the Most High has in store, man? The Lord tells you what he has in store. You have Jacob's trouble, right? You have Esau going to be like a madman, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord, right? You have World War III. You have all of the prophecies in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, sedition, riots, famine, bloodshed, blood moons, civil unrest, economy crashing, no jobs, lockdowns. And these are the things that's what this is really about. It's about enduring the end, man. And I want to get this. This is Acts 7 and 20. And which time Moses was born and was exceeding fair and nourished up in his father's house 3 months. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and nourished him for her own son. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians and was mighty in words and in deeds. So Moses, he grew up under that Egyptian lifestyle, mighty in wisdom, mighty in words and deed. You have people that say with Moses, he had a stuttering problem. There's no account if he had a stuttering problem. Huh? He was mighty in words and in deeds. And when he was full 40 years old, it came to his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. So the Most High could bring you into that knowledge and bring you under his guidance and protection. It could be 40 years. There are people that come into truth at 40 years old, man. Some men come into truth at 14. Some men at 44, 24. Hey, Moses was brought into the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua at a full 40 years old. Right? Now I want to jump down about Moses. Right? Let's get some attributes about Moses. Let's go to Numbers chapter 12. Right? Numbers chapter 12 and verse 3. It reads, now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. So there's not too many accounts that I can think of, if any, of the Most High charging Moses with folly and vanity. Moses is known for being meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. He was mighty in words, mighty in deed, man. Delivered Israel out of bondage. And time with fellas to speak of all of the great works that Moses did, man. Went up on Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights. Heard the secrets of the times, the end of the world. Wrote particular things, hid certain things. Had the blueprint, constructed the tabernacle, set up the priesthood, instructed Israel, led them in the wilderness. Very meek above all the men of the earth. I'm going to jump down about Moses. Verse 4. And this is after Aaron and Miriam. When you read this account, they railed on Moses because Moses took up Ethiopian women. Right? And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron, and they three came out. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision and will speak unto him in a dream. So if there's a prophet, you can't just proclaim you're a prophet. The Most High is going to come to you in visions and dreams, right? My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even of Yahweh shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? So Moses was on such a level that the Most High, when he dealt with him face to face. He didn't come to Moses in visions and dreams. The Lord came down with the cloud, and a similitude of the Lord he beheld, and he communicated with Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. Right now, there's no man like that. No man speaks to the Lord mouth to mouth. Moses was mighty in words and in deed, meekest man above all the earth. And there may be things that you excel at, man. Right? You may excel in wisdom. Right? You may have a sincere spirit. You may have a gift of discernment. Right? You might have the ability to show brotherly love, to execute judgment. There are things that the Most High may see in you, man, like you saw in Moses. But we're going to show you something that happened with Moses, man. Let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 20. It was set up for Moses to enter into the promised land, man. The meekest man on all the earth. And let's see what happened. This is Numbers, chapter 20. Right? Salaki, this is Numbers, chapter 20. And verse, let's see where I want to start. 2. And there was no water for the congregation. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. Who's they? The Israelites, right? Who scoffed and rebelled in the wilderness. And the people trod with Moses and spake, saying, would God that we had died when our brethren died before the Lord. And why have ye brought up the congregation of the Lord into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there? And wherefore have ye made us to come up out of Egypt, to bring us unto this evil place? It is no place of seed, or figs, or vines, or pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. So they're scoffing. Here they are, just got delivered out of Egypt, but they're discontent and ungrateful with the situation the Most High put them in. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto them. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take the rod, and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak yea unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water. And thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock, so thou shalt give the congregation and their beasts to drink. Now remember, Moses, there was no fault in him prior to this, man. The Most High brought him into this thing at 40 years. Mighty in words, meek man. The Lord speaks with him mouth to mouth. The Most High says, speak unto the rock. And this is how you're going to feed the people. This is how you're going to sustain them and give them drink. And Moses took the rod from before the Lord as he commanded him. So he followed one commandment, right? He did grab the rod, right? That's one part of the instruction. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said unto them, hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod smote the rock twice. And the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. So the Most High told Moses to speak to the rock, and he smote the rock twice. Now, even though the people drank, see, people can be nourished off of what you give them, but it may not be the right way. Right? It's like a zeal, but not according to knowledge. Moses had a zeal, but not according to knowledge in this instance, man. The Lord never told you to smite the rock. Yeah, the people are drinking. They're being sustained, but you're not going about it the right way, man. You know? And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believed me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Therefore, what? Therefore, ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. So now Moses and Aaron, one false move, man. Now they can't enter into the promised land. This thing is about endurance, man. The Moses endured when it came against him about the Ethiopian woman. He endured Pharaoh. He endured the when he had to flee after he smote the Egyptian and hit him in the sand. And then the Most High sent the spiritual demon Satan on these people. And guess what? He went off, man. He went off. And now he's not allowed to enter into the promised land. It shows you that you have to endure this thing. Don't you know only Joshua and Caleb are the only ones to make it to the promised land outside of the Israelites that left Egypt? No other men. Brothers have to understand that at any given second, it can be your day out of here. Every day could be your last day in the truth. Moses didn't know before this day that he was going to go off and not enter into the promised land. You never know when the spiritual demon Satan, he's going to and fro like a roaring lion, man, seeking whom he may devour. And those spirits hopped on the people and it tempted and it vexed Moses, and he ended up going off, man. And now he's not allowed, he wasn't allowed to enter into the promised land off of one move. See, brothers think that you can just keep freaking off and going off and doing God knows what, man, and not studying, not reading, not praying, not fasting, not doing the work. And you think that, you know, your days are going to be prolonged. The Most High is going to destroy you, man. Or you think that you've done enough. I've done enough. I've obtained. The Most High looks upon all my old works. The Lord don't care about all of the stuff you used to do if you stop doing it today, man. What does that profit you? It's like playing sports and you running 99 yards and then you damn pass out at the 1 yard line. Then you get up, oh man, but I ran 99. Nobody cares about the 99 yards that you ran, man. But I was moving fast. Don't you? But you didn't make it. It's about making it. It's about consistency and it's about endurance, man. You know? Hey, Moses, all you have to do is speak to the rock, man. But those spirits, they're here to sift us out like wheat. And those spirits can come randomly, man. Randomly, the spirit can hop on somebody to try to get you out the spirit, and then you get out the spirit and you sin, then you go off. It could be a woman, that a spirit can hop on her. It can hop on your children. It can hop on your wife. It can hop on your co-workers. It can hop on your so-called boss, supervisor, whatever. It can hop on you, man. And you make that one false move, and it could be lights out for you, man. The Lord is sifting men out, man. The Lord is trimming the fat, if you can understand. And only the elect are going to make it out of here. The Lord said, be diligent to make your calling and election sure. The slothful, they're not going to make it. The lukewarm, they're not going to make it. The men still thinking about the world. The Lord knows what's in your mind. Men that are still thinking about going back and doing whatever their family was doing. Breaking the Sabbath. Secret thoughts about covetousness. The Lord sees that, man. This thing is about endurance. You have to sit there and push yourself to endure every day, man. This is a fight. Every day you have to endure. You got to endure the flesh, oppression, financial problems, mental problems. You might have marital problems. You might have relationship stress between your children and your loved ones. You have to fight this thing, man. Right? The classic, 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. So he'll walk up on you, man. Hey, Moses got caught up in this thing. Right? The spirit hopped on the people. And they gathered themselves against Moses, man. and Aaron, but it really wasn't the people. It was the spirit, the spiritual demon Satan, that put lust spirits on them and to provoke Moses to go off. So Moses didn't endure. You know? Now, the Lord said, let me see, let me get this precept. And Deuteronomy, I believe I want chapter 2, right? If not, I want to get this other account. All right, this is Deuteronomy. Let's see, bear with me. I want to get this account where the Lord says, speak no more to Moses concerning the matter, man. I have to find it. But essentially, yeah, this is Deuteronomy 3, Salaki. I was in Deuteronomy 2, right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 3 and verse, let's see, 26. I'm going to start at, and you know what's deep about Moses? It's that Moses was told that he wasn't going to enter the promised land, and he kept serving the Most High and still didn't make it to the promised land, right? Deuteronomy chapter 3 and verse 23. And I besought the Lord at that time, saying, O Lord God, thou hast begun to show thy servant thy greatness and thy mighty hand. For what God is there in heaven or in earth that can do according to thy works and according to thy might? Right? I pray thee, let me go over. So he's begging. Remember, he just went off in Numbers 20. Now he's begging to make it to the promised land. I pray thee, let me go over and see the good land that is beyond Jordan, that goodly mountain and Lebanon. But the Lord was wroth with me for your sakes, and would not hear me. And the Lord said unto me, let it suffice thee, speak no more unto me of this matter. Meaning, I don't want to hear that. Stop asking me to get into the promised land. I don't want to hear it no more, man. You don't want to be in this situation when you're begging for your spirit, you're praying for the Most High to keep you in his truth. The Most High says, speak no more to me, this matter is over. What's done is done. You went off, hey, it's over. You've been abusing my grace. You've been taking this truth for granted. You didn't endure. You let that one situation get you out. Hey, look, I can't use you anymore. Hey, the Lord, grace is not forever, man. You know, you can't abuse the Lord's grace and just try to, okay, well, Lord, look, let me just Lord, get me back on fire. No, it's over, man. This happened to Moses. We're not even close to being on the level of Moses, man. It said, let it suffice thee. Meaning, look, it's enough. You being able to just look over, that's enough. Speak no more unto me of this matter. And that's essential or equivalent to the Lord saying, depart from me, man. Right? Let me get that in the book of Mark. It's like in Matthew. Right? The Lord said, depart from me. I never knew you, man. Not that he told Moses that, but that's the same spirit. Like, look, I don't want to hear that no more. Right? St. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. Right? Even Moses wanted to enter into the promised land. Right? He said, oh, Lord God, for what God is there in heaven and earth that can do according to thy works and according to thy might. You might be praying heavy, calling upon the name of the Most High. But just because you say, Lord, Lord, or you say Yahweh Bashim Shai, or you pray, doesn't mean you're going to make it to the kingdom. You have to put in work. You can't give heed to the spiritual demon Satan. You can't take days off. Stop taking days off in the truth, man. That one day you take off, guess what? That's all the Most High used, man, and needed. Right? The Lord is making essentially an elect team, man, of men, an army of men, soldiers. Everybody can't even make the regular soldiers, man. They got boot camp. You know, if you want to be in the Marines, they got certain things. Everybody can't make it. Some people get sent home. Some people, they give up. Some people quit. Some people fall out. Some people can't endure the trials. And that's how it is in this truth, man. Some people fall out because of money. They fall out because of a woman, right? They fall out because they don't see really, they not seeing the prophecies really unfolding. Well, they just miss the world, man. They just miss the world. They see all of the people having fun, right? Driving cars, eating the best food, and you out at camp. You got to keep going to camp. Every Saturday, you're just out there for hours. In the cold, in the rain, in the sun, in the wind, in the storm. You're just out there. And all the old friends are laughing at you, passing you by. And it gets to brothers, man. And then certain brothers, I don't know if I could do this. And they start, stop coming out. They start smoking weed again. And they slowly drift off. The Lord said, you can't just say, Lord, Lord, and enter into the kingdom. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? Moses prophesied in his name. And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. And brothers have done great works, man. Brothers have cast out devils. They've been teaching that brothers took idols off their neck and threw it in the damn water or threw it in the trash or even burnt with fire. Esau came down and bowed down, kissed the boot. You shook the hand. You woke up the saints. You cast out demons on people, but you didn't endure, man. All that don't matter. If you go back, the Lord is going to say, I never knew you, man. The Lord don't care about what you did in time past, man. If you don't continue to do it and if you don't endure, right? Let's go to we dealt with Moses, right? What you not know what happened to Aaron, man, right? Aaron didn't endure. Exodus 5:1. And afterward, Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness. And brothers failed to remember that Aaron, he was the one that actually said these things, man. He was the public speaker that represented Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua through Moses. The Mosai said that Moses shall be a god and Aaron will be the prophet. So Aaron, he's the one who essentially went in there, they say, well, Moses said it. Aaron technically said it because he was the one who spoke the words. Aaron said, let my people go, man. So Aaron, he had a big deal. He wasn't a nobody. He wasn't that somebody that just kind of just stuck around, man. He was somebody who was the first high priest of the Levitical order, man. Exodus 7:1. And the Lord said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his hand. So any conversation that was going on between Pharaoh, it was Aaron was handling the matter. Moses, he was there, but Aaron was handling the matter. Brothers overlook Aaron. Aaron was right there next to Moses, man. Right? Now I'm gonna jump down, right? Another thing, this Exodus 7 and 10. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. So a lot of stuff that people think Moses did, Aaron actually did it. Aaron said, let my people go through the spirit. Aaron's the one that threw his rod down before Pharaoh. Aaron was doing a lot of work, man. But Aaron, guess what? He went off, man. We just read in the book of Numbers. He did all of these are mighty works that he did, man. But guess what? Let's go to the book of Numbers, man. Right? Let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 20. Right? Let's go to the book of Numbers again, chapter 20. All of the marvelous works, speaking before Pharaoh. And you know, you have to think about this. Think about how much you've read, how much you've actually learned in this truth. You learn who the Gentiles are. You may have learned hidden mysteries, secrets. You may have learned how to build yourself up, how to give counsel, knowledge. You may have acquired a family. Imagine just losing it all because you didn't endure today or tomorrow. You took a day off. You went back for 1 hour. You fell asleep for 1 hour. This thing is about endurance. It's not about what you did. It's about what you're going to continue to do. Right? You're not going to go before Yahweh Shem Yahushai and you smoked the blunt and went off and you about to get destroyed. You said, well, Lord, remember, I did this and I did that. The Lord don't care about that, man. We just read that in Matthew the 7th chapter. The Lord is not a used to kind of guy. A used to, man. Don't be a used to brother. Well, I used to do this. You got crackheads like that. Your old uncle is like that. Man, I used to be an athlete, man. Man, I have all, and he's showing you all his old trophies from the 80s. Pop Warner, Little League, high school, all state, all pro. He's a used to kind of guy. I used to kind of work on cars. Now he has 3 cars sitting in the backyard, just rusting with that tarp over it that he's never going to fix. You got a lot of people. I used to be an Israelite. Right? Let me see if I can find that. Look at this madness. Left Hebrew Israelites. Right? Look at this. Leaving the Hebrew Israelites. Oscar Dunlap, who spent 8.5 years as a devout follower. He was in this thing for 8.5 years. Then the Most High got rid of him. And I don't know Oscar Dunlap. I'm not going to click on the video. I'm not going to watch it now, you know. But guess what? He's out of here, man. After 8.5 years. You have brothers that ain't been in this thing for 4 years. Talking about they made it to the kingdom. Oh, I know I'm going to make it. 8.5 years. Now he's out. Why I abandoned the Hebrew Israelites. Let's see. Damn, look at this madness. Right? You have all these videos. Look, leaving the Hebrew Israelites. Let's see. Engaging with the Hebrew Israelites. You know, and there are multiple videos that you'll see about, look at this, why I left the Hebrew Israelites. Salakia. You have people saying I'm over that phase. Right? I'm glad I'm not into that anymore. I mean, you don't want to be that kind of brother or sister. Then what the Most High gives you over to reprobate mind. I'm glad I'm not in that cult anymore. And the Most High will do that for you, man, or do that to you. He'll give you over to folly and give you over to vanity, man. He's done it in time past. Let's get this precept. Let me show you what happened to Aaron. Right? Let's see what happened to Aaron for not enduring. Yeah, he did mighty works. He did a lot, man. He spoke before Pharaoh, turned his rod into a serpent. He was the high priest. He had a holiness to the Lord. The Lord put all these garments on him. He did that to Aaron. And let's see what happened to Aaron. Numbers chapter 20 and 23. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor, by the coast of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, but he shall not enter into the land which I have given unto the children of Israel, because ye rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up unto Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments, and put them upon Eleazar his son, and Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, and shall die there. You see that? You have to look at this And this can happen to any one of us, man. And the Most High can strip us of our garments, man. And that's not the literal priestly garments, but the spiritual garments. The Lord will take you up and strip you of your knowledge, strip you of your breakdown, your understanding, your wisdom, your counsel, and give them to somebody else, man. That's actually going to do the work and do the will of the Most High. Aaron didn't endure. He had everything, man. Mighty, marvelous works were done by this man. Lauded and praised. But he didn't enter into the promised land, man. So all of his mighty garments, it was given to the next man. Eleazar, his son, and then guess what? He was gathering to his people. Verse 27. And Moses did as the Lord commanded, and they went up into Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. So everybody saw this. This was not done in secret. This wasn't like, okay, well, wait till everybody sleep, go up there and slowly take off Aaron's garments, fold them up, tuck your chin under, put the damn shirt over. And no, man, everybody saw this. This was a big deal. And when you strip somebody their garments, you kind of rough about it, man. And the Lord will roughly just take away everything you've ever had, man. If you rebel one day, one time. Now we can repent. We have grace in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But like I said, brothers abuse that grace, man. We do have grace and we can repent if we fall short. But you have brothers that just freak off, man. And they drift off back into the world. And they don't endure. So this was done in the sight of the sun, right? And Moses stripped Aaron of his garments and put them upon Eleazar his son. And Aaron died there in the top of the mount, and Moses and Eleazar came down from the mount. See that? Aaron got stripped of his garments. A lot of brothers got stripped of their garments. Who's that? Oscar Dunlap? Pull up Oscar Dunlap. Let's see, Dunlap, Hebrew Israelites, right? Why I left the Hebrew Israelites, my testimony. And I'm not gonna sit there and entertain this guy, man. But he said he was in this thing for 8.5 years. Look at him. 8.5 years. And he got stripped. Hold on. Go back up top. And he got stripped of his garment. And nobody's going to watch an hour video on why the Most High is going to destroy you, man. And he's not the only guy. You have plenty of people who got stripped of their garments, man. You have sisters. This is why I'm over that Hebrew Israelite phase. I'm on the new and better thing. There are so many people, just a quick side note that, I have social media, and then you see people over periods of time, they just start drifting off, man. You're like, damn, that brother used to be in the truth. That sister used to be. Don't be a used to be. That man, he used to read. He used to be mighty. Dang, she used to be on fire. He used to do this. She used to. God forbid, man, that somebody speaks those words about you. Don't be a used to Israelite, man. And don't have your garment stripped from you in the sight of the sun. Right? Let's go to the book of Colossians, chapter 4. Right? This thing is about endurance. Brothers, pray that the Lord allows you to endure all things. Endure the daily fights in his truth. Endure the hell at the workplace. Endure the fighting of the flesh. This thing is about endurance. It's not a one-time deal, man. It's not, okay, I had one good day in the truth. Then the next day, you was watching porn. Then the third day, you was freaking off. But on the fourth day, you was on a fast. But on the fifth day, you was looking at whatever, man. You can't have that kind of spirit. The Lord speaks about men, before I get this, he says that they may show themselves or have a pattern of good works. Right? In Titus, the 2nd chapter. You want to be a brother with consistency. How consistent can you be? We know we're in the flesh. Well, nobody's taking that away. How consistent can you be, man? In anything. Push yourself, man. How consistent can you be on your weekly fast? On reading every day? Or not giving to the flesh? And not lusting? And not speaking vanity? How consistent can you be? What's the definition of consistency? Right? Consistency. Let's see. Conformity in the application of evenness, steadiness, stability, constancy, regularity, uniformity. Look at the opposites. Inconsistency. Right? You want to be steadfast, stable. You don't want to be a brother. Let me pull up actual consistent. Consistent, Salakia. Acting or done in the same way over time. Steady, stable, even, orderly. Right? That's the spirit you want to be in. You don't want to be, all right, you're on fire 2 days out the week, then 5 days you have just followed the imagination of your own heart. Or 4 days you're diligent, but 3 days you're not. You want to be consistent and challenge and push yourself, man, for consistency. These are things that we have to add to our life, man. And that's why brothers and sisters tend to fall out, because they're not consistent. They take days off. They treat this truth like it's a joke, like it's a game, like you deserve to be here. Nobody deserves to be in the truth. You didn't earn this. As quickly as you were given the knowledge, as quickly it can be taken away from you. That the apostles marveled and said, how soon is the fig tree withered away, man? Right? This Colossians chapter 4 and 14. We'll read about an individual. Luke, I'm going to start at 13. For I bear him record that he hath a great zeal for you, Slakia, and them that are in Laodicea, and them in Hierapolis. Luke, the beloved physician, and Demas greet you. So this brother was with Paul for a minute. The Lord shouted out Demas. He said, hey, my brother Demas, and he greets you too. You know, that's like the brother say, tell him I said shalom. Then the brother kind of hold the phone up and he say shalom. Hey, Demas was that guy for a minute, man. Right? But not forever. Not forever. He was here for a minute. But let's see if he endured. Right? Let's go to Philemon. Right? Chapter 1. See, they got me in Philippians. I'm gonna just have to type in Demas. I believe I went Philemon, if I'm not mistaken. So this Philemon chapter 1, and I'm gonna read 23 and 24. It reads, there salute thee Epaphras, my fellow prisoner in Hamashiach Yahushua, Marcus, Aristarchus, Demas, Lucas, my what? My fellow laborers. So this brother Demas used to be on fire, shouted out by the apostle Paul as one of his fellow laborers. Demas greeted them and labored with the apostle. What happened to Demas? Right? What happened to Demas? A lot of brothers, you already know where I'm going. You know what happened to Demas, man. 2 Timothy chapter 4 and 9. Do thy diligence to come shortly unto me, for Demas hath forsaken me, having loved this present world, and is departed unto Thessalonica, Crescens to Galatia, Titus unto Dalmatia. Only Luke is with me. Take Mark and bring him with thee, for he is profitable to me for the ministry. So Demas greeted them in Colossians. Then at Philemon, he had a special shout out. Now you read in Timothy that Demas has forsaken the Most High, having loved this present world. He used to labor. He used to do the work. Now he went back to Thessalonica and to freak off, man, to worship their gods. Hey, Thessalonica was a big deal back then, man. It was like a big city in America, like Philly or Chicago, Houston, if you can understand, Miami, right? It was a heavy city out there in Greece, man. So he went back into the world. After we read that he used to labor, Demas did not endure. So guess what? Demas ultimately is going to be destroyed, man. Your Lord don't care about, oh, he greeted him. Oh, Demas greeted you. That don't make you the elect. Oh, Demas, special shout out to my brother. This thing is about what? Endurance. Endurance. The fact or power of enduring an unpleasant or difficult process. Hey, this is a difficult process, man. It's not easy being in the truth. Nobody said it's going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. We read that in 2nd Ezra, man, chapter 7, on the Monday Night Fire. And we read it all the time. The Lord said the entrance thereof is narrow, as if there were fire on one side, and on the other hand, a deep water. And one only path between them both, even so small that only one man can go there at once. If this city were now given to a man for an inheritance, right? How shall he pass through the dangers therein to receive it? Paraphrasing, man. That's 2nd Ezra chapter 7 on down. Right? So this is a difficult process or situation without giving way. See that? So brothers have to have the spirit of toleration. You tolerate the flesh. You deal with, you may be catching hell, and your family may leave you. Right? Suffering. You might be damn sick all the time now in the truth. You might have no money in your pocket. People might despise you. All your friends left you. Fortitude. Right? Staying power. You want to have stamina. There's a lot of people that run out of gas. Their tank is running on E right now. They don't even know how to refuel, man. Just wandering in the wilderness, running out of gas. Oh, brother been in this thing 2 years, he's running out of gas already. 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. Like Oscar Dunlap, 8.5 years he ran out of steam. And you know how you run out of gas in your car don't just stop on a dime. Kind of just slowly eases up, especially if you're not watching. A lot of people, I know particular people who don't pay no attention to the fuel gauge, man, of their car. And they just driving and driving, just lusting, just ready to do what they want to do. They're not paying attention to the fuel gauge to save their life. And it's slowly going empty and empty and empty and empty and empty and empty. They were supposed to get gas 2 hours ago, but it slowly waxes and it's like it wanes down. Before you know it, they're stuck on the side of the road. Brothers have to watch their spirit, man. There's a lot, like I brought this up before, there's a lot of cars stuck on the side of the road that just didn't make it to the destination. Nobody got up and said, yeah, I think I feel like getting my car stuck on the side of the road today. It's a good idea. No, they just didn't make it, man. Ran out of steam. Maybe wasn't paying attention. Got in an accident. Wasn't observant. Ran out of gas. Didn't keep the car up to date. Didn't check the brake pads. Engine battery dead, died on them. Just ran out of gas, man. You can't run out of gas in this thing. You cannot run out of gas. Do not be a Demas that is forsaken the Most High, man, and love the present world. Let's go to the book of 1 Kings. The first chapter. I'm going to get a few more. Chapter 5. Then Adonijah, the son of Haggith, exalted himself, saying, I will be king. And he prepared him chariots and horsemen and 50 men to run before him. Now remember, Adonijah, he's the son of David. David is essentially on his deathbed. Adonijah has made himself king and exalted himself. The Most High didn't exalt him. He exalted his own self, right? And his father had not displeased him at any time, saying, why hast thou done so? Meaning David never really checked him growing up. And he also was a very goodly man, and his mother bare him after Absalom. But check this out. And he conferred with Joab, the son of Zeruiah, and with him. Now, hold on now. Joab was with David in the rebellion of Absalom. He was with David during the time of King Saul. He was always with David, man. Even Abiathar the priest. He was always with David. But they couldn't endure. It's not about what you used to do, man. There are plenty of accounts that Joab did that was good. Now he squashed the rebellion and cut down men and fought hard. Abiathar the priest, man, there are plenty of things that he did well. But when they got old, guess what? They fell out. And guess what? Joab got put to death. Abiathar was cut down from being priest, essentially. Right? David didn't necessarily, or Solomon didn't do too much damage because he served with his father. But essentially, this shows that they didn't endure. When these spirits hop on men, and this could happen any day, a spirit could hop on somebody and they exalt themselves. Yeah, I'm going to start my own thing. Yeah, I want to break off from so-and-so, and I want to start this over here. Then people blindly follow them. And those same brothers that followed them, they used to cut down different doctrines, but they got caught up in one last doctrine. There might be a doctrine out there for a brother. The Lord got something for you, man, to get you out of here. You might have cut down this doctrine and said, no, that's madness. And then you got seduced at the very end. You can't get seduced at the very end like Joab did. Joab got seduced. And nobody would have thought that Joab would ever leave the house of David, man. But he got seduced by Adonijah. Even Abiathar the priest, a righteous individual, got seduced. And he helped the wicked. But what happened? And a lot of brothers, man, you know, to save their life, and Jacob's trouble when all hell break loose, they're going to get seduced, man. And they're going to leave this truth. And they're going to go back into the world and do God knows what, man. The Lord does not care about what you used to do. The Lord don't care. Okay, Joab used to fight against the Philistines. Your brother was Ashael. Your brother was this man. They were mighty men. You was the captain of the host of the Lord. You cut down many men. But he waxed old. Right? And he fell away from the house of David. Do not be like this man. Don't be like the men that we mentioned. Now we know, particular men, the Most High could have mercy on him. He's going to have in the resurrection. But don't be like Joab. Don't be like Abiathar the priest. Don't be like Aaron, man, who speaks unto Pharaoh, rebuking the heathen. Aaron rebuked Pharaoh, man. Had beautiful garments on. Then he fell off by the spiritual demon Satan. And you see all these men, they don't just sit down and fall asleep and fall out the truth. It's always a spirit hopping on somebody. It's always a different situation and a scenario. With Aaron's situation, you had the masses of people who had demons on them that seduced him. Hey, hell, that happened to Aaron when he was built them the golden calf, man. Same thing with Joab. He lost his faith, man, and rebelled against the king. 1 Kings 1:8. But Zadok the priest and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada and Nathan the prophet and Shammai and Rai and the mighty men which belonged to David were not with Adonijah. See how the Most High can have a split happen? He can have certain men really believe in their mind that they're doing the right thing. Split you off. But that's only for your destruction. Joab really thought that that was the move to make. ABA thought a priest likewise, following blindly a man that exalted himself, who had a demon on him, a pride demon. Well, the Most High didn't exalt him. He wanted the preeminence, set himself up above the house of David, and you have men that followed him, men that were faithful, but they didn't endure. And this is how doctrines work. This is how men work. Brothers have to be vigilant, man. Do not get seduced by a mortal man, man, with breath in his nostrils. Don't fall out this thing over no man, over no woman, over no job, over no money, man. Now, ultimately, it's in the hand of Yahweh Yahushua. You know, but being in these bodies, this flesh and blood that we in, and we're going to fight that good fight, man. And we're not going to be like Joab and Abiathar the priest. We're not going to be like Solomon, right? But Solomon, when he waxed old, his wives turned away his heart. Right? Let's get that real quick. 1 Kings chapter 11 and 4. For it came to pass when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. So this didn't happen when Solomon was young. And you might be all right your first year in the truth, man. Your second year in the truth. You'll be fine. You endure, you go to camp, you might be teaching, you're taking notes, you're learning, you're praying, you're fasting, getting yourself built up. You might be highlighting, you ordered your apocrypha, you got your fringes, you comb your beard out, all praises. And you may have kept the new moon. You know, you might be on fire maybe 4 years, 5 years, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But now that 11th year, that 5th year, that 4th year, now your heart is turned away by other gods. You might go back, if you was a sports fanatic, you might go back into watching sports all day. You know, if you was into video games, you might go back into video games. If you was into Islam, you might start going back into Islam. You might go into weed, other books. Your 5th year in the truth, you start going after other books. These accounts are written for your learning. Solomon was the wisest man. More wisdom than you and I combined sevenfold, man. But guess what? Even women turned away the heart of the wisest man. And guess what? He started going off, man. For Solomon went after Asheroth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord as did David his father. And you have to ask yourself, are you going fully after the Lord? Or are you half-assing it, man? Are you lukewarm about it? Do you kind of read some days but don't read other days? Do you fast every just on the Day of Atonement, or once every 3 months? Are you really fully going after the Lord? Are you really are you keeping the feast days? Are you really loving your brother? Or are you still thinking about the world? Is your mind in his truth? Are you still reminiscing? Going back to all your old friends on Facebook, on Instagram, looking at their stories, trying to see what they're doing, trying to keep up with the world, still watching the worldly shows, wanting this and wanting that. If that's your mind, you're not going to make it. You have to go fully after the Lord, man. If you're not going fully after the Lord is going to turn away your heart. Right? The Lord is going to turn away your heart. And ultimately, you're going to be cut down, man. Right? Let's go to 2 Chronicles. Right? This truth is about, and we're giving you many accounts of men that didn't endure. Moses, he didn't make it to the promised land. Aaron got stripped of his garments in front of the sight of the sun. Solomon waxed old. Joab, Abiathar the priest, they didn't endure the house of David. A lot of men, and these are mighty men. Joab was a mighty man. Aaron was a mighty man. These are mighty men, powerful servants of the Most High. 2 Chronicles chapter 26, and I'm going to get straight to the point. I'm not going to read this whole thing, right? But this Uzziah, right? The king. 2 Chronicles 26 and 14. And Uzziah prepared for them throughout all the host shields and spears and helmets and habergeons and bows and slings to cast stones. So he built weapons. He built shields. He had an armory, right, for his soldiers. And he made in Jerusalem engines, invented by cunning men to be on the towers and upon the bulwarks, to shoot arrows and great stones withal. So he was into ballistics. He was shooting missiles, not ICBM missiles, but automatic projectiles. Right? He had that thing going. And his name spread far abroad, for he was marvelously helped till he was strong. So this man was mighty, and his name spread far abroad. People knew about this man. And he was helped by Yahweh Basham Yahushua, but not forever. Where does it say that the Lord helped Uzziah forever? These are all these. I'm not going to read all the mighty things he did, man. Look at all of the mighty works he did. You read this on your own, man. Read 2 Chronicles 26 and 6. This man built cities. The Most High, it says God helped them against the Philistines. The Lord was with him, man, against his enemy. The Arabians, right? The Ammonites were giving him gifts. His name spread amongst the Egyptians. He strengthened himself. He had towers in the desert, vine dressers, fighting men. He had everything. He was strong. And you might grow strong in this thing. You might learn a few precepts, watch a few videos, learn how to dismantle doctrines, be in the spirit. But then what happened? It says, for he, 2 Chronicles 26 and 15, for he was marvelously helped till he was strong. So the Most High was only with him until he got strong. And once he got strong, the Most High left him. That's how, that can happen. The Most High could be with you till you reach your peak, and then he leave you just like that. This thing is about endurance, man. You don't want the Most High to leave you at your peak. Soon as you get strong, the Lord is out of there, because you start getting proud. A lot of brothers start getting proud, man. You let those works get to your head. I've been in the truth X amount of years. The Lord don't care about that. Rather, it's 5 years or 50 years if you don't endure. Okay, you ain't been in this thing 50 years, but now you might fall out, man. This thing's about praying for mercy. Endurance. You know? Verse 16. But when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction. See that? For he transgressed against the Lord his God and went into the temple of the Lord to burn incense upon the altar of incense. So guess what? He started getting proud, man. Even the Most High said, knowledge puffeth up. And Azariah the priest went in after him, and with him 80 priests of the Lord that were valiant men. So here's the king trying to do the work of the Levites. Only the Levites can burn incense. But he's so proud, he's biting off more than he can chew. So the priest takes 80 men with him to tell his king to chill out. And he withstood Uzziah the king and said unto him, it appertaineth not unto thee, Uzziah, to burn incense unto the Lord, but to the priests, the sons of Aaron, that are consecrated to burn incense. Go out of the sanctuary, for thou hast trespassed. Neither shall it be for thine honor from the Lord God. So they corrected him. Then Uzziah was wroth and had a censer in his hand to burn incense. And while he was wroth with the priest, the leprosy even rose up in his forehead before the priest in the house of the Lord from beside the incense altar. And he didn't want to take correction, man. Right? He got proud. He let his works get to his head, and he felt as though he was untouchable. You're not untouchable in this thing. No brothers, you can't say you're untouchable. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. I was doing this. I've been in the truth for 5 years. I read the whole Bible. I went to camp a few times. I have a wife. Every brother, myself included, is touchable. Moses, David, the apostles. Everybody's touchable from Yahweh. Who the hell is man? Well, the Most High. Okay, well, that's man. I ain't going to say nothing to this. The Most High don't fear man. The Most High is not impressed with man. About what man has, man. And Uzziah, he didn't understand that. He let all his works get to his head, all this marvelous stuff, and he didn't endure. You want to continue to grow in this thing, man. Don't be marvelously helped to you is strong, and then you get proud. You feel like you can't grow, feel like you can't improve, feel like can't nobody tell you nothing. You can't take no correction. You're always right. And then them spirits start working against you, and you start falling out. The Lord is dealing with the humble. The Lord is dealing with the meek, not the man who's boasting of his works and then falls out in the last minute, man. Right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 24. Right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 24 and verse 10. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. You can't faint in the day of adversity. You can't get a flat tire on your way to work on your first day. You're going to be 2 hours late and you leave the truth. I can't do this anymore. And you take out a cigarette because you're stressed out and light a cigarette. You can't faint in the day of adversity. And your woman can't freak off and commit adultery and then you say, oh God, I can't do this anymore. And you go commit adultery. This is too much. Lord God, why? Kill me now. The Lord will put you in a situation to see if you're going to faint or not, man. The Lord did it to Job. He could do it to any one of us, man. Are you going to faint in the day of adversity? This is too much for me. Oh boy, Lord, why? Why me? The Lord said, hey, guess what? Your strength is small. It is not speaking about lifting weights, your mental strength. Your faith is small, man. You know? And brothers have to pray that this demon leaves them, that spirit of being faint, man. Ready to run out of gas and ready to pass out. Right? Let's get to Sirach 43. Right? And brothers have to pray for endurance. Pray that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua has mercy upon you, man, and allows you to endure the days to come. Because evil days are coming, man. YouTube is not forever. Live streams are not forever. Highways and byways, I don't know if anybody told you, but that's not forever, man. Shaking the hand, feeding the flock, feast days amongst the brethren. All hell is about to break loose, man. It's happening now. Supply chains are jammed up. Blood moons. War on the horizon. Russia's mobilizing troops. It's riots and seditions. People can't afford to live anymore. This is the roads are breaking down. The infrastructure's falling apart. This place is done, man. Why are you going to look back now? Why now? Ain't nothing there, man. There's literally nothing left. It's gone. It's finished. It's crumbling before your eyes. You can't see it. But now you're thinking about, I don't know, my job. I got to work on the Sabbath because I really need to save up for school because, and the Lord's going to kill that man who's working on the Sabbath to save up for school, to go and get his master's. I just gotta take some time. I gotta really find myself. You know, I really want to know me. You know, You can't tell me who I am. I don't know about this truth thing. I need to go find myself. Yeah, that man's not going to, the Lord is not looking for the brother who's trying to find himself, man. Just need to know my purpose in this in life. I love y'all though. Y'all good, bro. I'll keep in touch. Or the sister that slowly drifts off and she start putting pants on, then she start dyeing her hair blonde. Hey, this happens to women too, man. They always start putting pants back on. Then after pants, they might, you never see them with a hair wrap no more. Then they start posting lewd things. This is the cycle. Then they might be into another doctrine. Then they might say why they left the Hebrew Israelites and why other people aren't like them. Now how they're so different. We don't have to keep the laws anymore. It's all about serving the Most High. Then they start drifting off, man. You can see when brothers and sisters are getting faint. They stop coming around. Right now, somebody's falling out the truth. Literally right now. Then somebody else is coming into the truth, man. Right? Sirach chapter 43 and 10, the classic. At the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches. This is speaking about the stars. And even us as a people, we are likened unto stars. And you can't faint. It's fourth quarter. It's 3 seconds left, man. Ain't no timeouts. Ain't no let's talk about it. Ain't no gathering up and talking about it. It's fourth quarter, 3 seconds left on the clock, man. What are you going to do? Are you going to faint? Coach, get me out the game. Go back to, you got a lot of people, man, they go back to the locker room. They can't deal with the pressure. And nothing's really even happened yet. You can still go home, go to your car, go to your so-called job, cash your check, buy a steak. You can still do these things, man. Drink a bottle of wine if you want to. So if you're fainting in these days now, I can only imagine how you're going to move when all hell breaks loose, when Esau kicks your door down. And I was talking to Amos earlier, man. We was fixing up school through the Spirit, and we was talking about how we was waking up at around 3 a.m. I saw another brother. He actually posted that on social media. He said, "Man, it seemed like I keep waking up, in the middle of the night, man." And I said, "Yeah, I keep waking up as of late, tossing and turning. I can't really sleep, man. I rarely get sleep anyway. Brothers know I barely go to sleep. I might get a few hours in, but the sleep that I do get, I woke up at stamp 3 a.m. And the brother said, Amos, I keep waking up around that time too. And I think he made the comment, he was like, well, you never know, that could be the Most High preparing us, for the evil day, because Esau, he comes in like a thief in the night. All hell's going to break loose like a thief in the night. He kicking doors down, and you don't want to be in a situation where you faint, right? Meaning you don't know what's going on. You're back in the world. You're drifting off, and you just fall asleep, man. You can't faint in your watches. This thing is about what? Endurance, stamina. You got guys that run cross country, right? Those guys that run cross country, man, they run miles and miles, man. You got marathons. Was that 26 miles? How many miles? Let's see. How many miles in the marathon? 26 miles. Right? 26 miles in a marathon. Don't you know there are people who sign up for these marathons and they never finish it? And every year they go back and they sign up and they train, but they never finish. And out of all the people, don't you know there's only one winner? There's only one winner. I think they got the Boston Marathon. They got like the the damn it's another marathon. I think it's in New York, right? But this thing is about endurance, man. You got to pace yourself. When you run marathons, it's not a sprint. You actually are pacing yourself. You're in this thing for the long haul. And brothers have to pace themselves in this truth. It's not a race. Like I said, it's not about who knows the most or how soon you can know the most. To seem deep, how quick you can uncover all of the parables and breakdowns, how soon you can reach up and be an elder and start your own camp. It's not about that, man. It's about endurance. So every day you have endured. You have what? Maintained, and not just endured, but you have also maintained your integrity, man. Right? This is Job, and you didn't let anybody seduce you. Job 27, or yourself, you didn't get seduced by the flesh. 27:5, one of my favorite precepts. God forbid that I should justify you. Till I die, I will not remove my integrity from me. My righteousness I hold fast and will not let it go. My heart shall not reproach me so long as I live. See that? So Job said till he dies, he will not remove his integrity from me. He's about endurance. He's about having integrity every day. Not 2 days, not 3 days, then he falls out. 4 days. He said every day. Till he dies, man. Let's get another account. Right? Let's go to Hebrews, the 3rd chapter. Right? Hebrews chapter 3. Right? This is Hebrews chapter 3 and verse 7. Wherefore, as the Holy Ghost said, or the Holy Spirit rather, today if ye will hear his voice. And you got to hearken to the word to the Most High. The Lord said he speaketh once, yet twice, yet man perceiveth it not. Right? So if you have been having thoughts of going off, drifting back in the world, you may have got caught up in your job, caught up in a woman, you may have got caught up in your kids, man, caught up in the flesh, chasing the check, worldly friends, worldly family members. You thought about giving up. You think that there's nowhere to go. You know, you're being faint. You're looking back. The Lord said today, you got to change all that, man. If ye will hear his voice. Harden not your hearts as in the provocation and the day of temptation in the wilderness. Because in the wilderness, they were, believe it or not, our fathers were being tempted by the spiritual demon Satan. And it's beautiful that Yahweh Shah was able to endure that temptation and show us that it can be done. You can overcome the temptation, right? When your fathers tempted me, proved me, and saw my works 40 years. Wherefore I was grieved with that generation and said, they do always err in their heart and have not known my ways. So I swear in my wrath that they should not enter into my rest. Take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief and departing from the living God. Meaning what brothers have to check themselves right now. It's 11:09 on the East Coast. You have to ask yourself, are you having a heart or a mind of departing from the living God? You don't have to put nothing out. This is something that you got to deal with. Have you had thoughts of being complacent in the truth? You don't want to grow. You're just content, just going through the motions. Are you praying? Are you even excited about praying anymore? No, you just get up and do it like a chore. You just get up and get on your phone. You used to get up and pray. What happened to you? I used to fast more, man. What happened to you? Now you barely even fast. I used to be excited to read and watch the videos. Now you might kind of watch one every now and then. Now you get caught up in the life. You get caught up in the world. What happened to you, man? You're not yourself. You're not who you were when you first came in this thing. Now you're slowly falling away. What's caused you to fall away? That evil heart of unbelief. Your mind is being plagued and troubled, man. Right? Let's read this again. Hebrews chapter 3 and 12. Take heed. Right? That's a warning. Take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief and departing from the living God. So that's like when you got to check your spell. You got to stop right there, read it, examine yourself, and see where the hell are you at in this thing, man? And how come you're not who you were damn last month or last year, man? You used to be on fire. Used to go to camp more. You know? You wasn't always into what you're into now. You used to be more humble. You're not even humble anymore. Now you can't even take correction. Used to be lowly. Used to check on brothers. Now you don't even check on brothers anymore. You don't check on sisters. Used to study. Like I said, you used to have your flashcards or your highlighter. When's the last time you've done these things? You're departing from the Lord. You don't even know it. You're slowly drifting off, right? And you're falling out, man. You're drifting off back into the world. Verse 13. But exhort one another daily, while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. And this is exhortation. Get up and get your act together, man. And do your first works, or the Lord is going to cut you down, man, and give you over unto folly. Don't be like Joab and Abiathar. God forbid that we should wax old and do evil in the sight of the Lord like King Solomon. God forbid that we should get stripped of our garments in the sight of the sun, or be like Demas, who used to greet the men of the Lord, then he departed from the men of the Lord. We have to exhort one another, encourage one another daily, motivate one another daily, provoke brothers to do good work, set up challenges, call brothers, man. While it is called today, you got to do it today because it ain't always a tomorrow. If you don't exhort a brother today, he might not be in the truth tomorrow. We don't check on that sister today. That demon hardened her. Now she won't take any correction. Now she's through. You better get right now, because you don't even know you're slowly being hardened and hardened and hardened. And then it becomes, impenetrable. You won't be able to penetrate it through the word of God, man. You have molded yourself with thick diamond of sin. And now no matter what exhortation it is, it can't penetrate to your heart, man. So you want to get this word in daily, man. And take this exhortation today and ask yourself, are you being hardened? Have you been slowly drifting off? Do you even examine yourself? When's the last time you've examined yourself or came up with a game plan? Or are you just really just getting back into your hobbies, man? Your old worldly hobbies and your old pastimes. And you know you're going off, man. You used to call your husband Lord. You don't even call your husband Lord anymore. Now he's just Rel, T. You used to cook. Now you're just kind of just sitting around waiting on something to happen. You used to be on fire as a sister. Now you're just watching TV. You might be on TikTok for 3 hours. You're on the phone. Brothers used to read. Now you're just on ESPN all day. So brothers got to check themselves, right? Hey, sisters, you need to check yourself, man. All hell is breaking loose on the earth. This is dead serious, man. This is a wake-up call. Verse 14. Hey, the Most High is not going to get off his throne and beat at your door and say, get on fire, man. He's not going to do that. The Most High is not getting off the throne to talk to you, man. Yeah, you need to get your spirit. The Lord isn't doing that, man. Verse 14. For we are made partakers of Hamashiach if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast unto the end. Right? That's the key word, if. If. Right? If we endure. If we make it to the end. While it is said today, if you will hear his voice, Harden not your hearts as in the provocation. For some, when they had heard, did provoke, howbeit not all that came out of Egypt by Moses. Because really only Joshua and Caleb, they're the ones that came out of Egypt to enter into the promised land. A lot of other men provoked, right? And it tells you, Hebrews 3:17. But with whom was he grieved 40 years? Was it not with them that had sinned, whose carcasses fell in the wilderness? And to whom sware he that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believe not? So we see that they could not enter in because of unbelief. They cannot enter into the kingdom or the promised land because of unbelief. But with that, I'm going to close up, giving, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashima Mashiach Malak Yahushai. Check your spirit. Do not quit. Do not give up. Do not go back in the world. There's nothing left but destruction, misery, pain, turmoil. Right? Let me get this real quick. Right? I must be allowed to get this. I have to bring this precept out. Right? I have to bring this out. St. Luke chapter 9 and verse 57. And it came to pass that as they went in the way, a certain man said unto them, Lord, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. So he said, I will follow the Lord. He said, I'm going to follow you wherever you go. Through thick and through thin, through hell and back, I'll follow you wherever you go. And Yahweh said unto him, foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head. Meaning, look, if you follow me, it ain't going to be easy, right? I'm on the road. I'm traveling. I live in uncomfortable situations. I deal with uncomfortable people. It's not easy, right? Verse 59. And he said unto another, follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. Yahweh said unto him, let the dead bury their dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of God. But in the Most High don't want no excuse. The Lord don't care about you have to bury your father. You would think that's a big deal. Okay, well, yeah, go bury your father. Please don't have. And the Lord said, hey, look, let the dead handle that, man. Stop worrying about the things of the world, man. Let the dead handle that. Let them worry about jobs, job security 30 years from now, pension plans, 401ks. Let them wonder about those things, man. Why don't you worry about the kingdom? Fasting and prayer, alms and charity, being diligent to make your calling and election sure, not being lukewarm is lawful. Right? Here's the point I want, verse 61. Luke 9 and 61. And another also said, Lord, I will follow thee, but let me first go bid them farewell, which are at home at my house. And Yahweh said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of God. So if you put your hand to the plow and you start looking back, you're not fit for the kingdom. The Lord can't use you. The Lord is not dealing with that type of man who put their hand to the plow. Meaning you got your fringes on, you're growing that beard out, you started to keep the new moon, you probably kept the Sabbath or two. I'm sure you watched the video. You stopped eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Hey, hell, sister, you got a dress and a hair wrap. Hey, you might have even got married, or bear children. Hey, brothers, you might have taken on wives. But guess what? You started looking back. You put your hand to the plow. And you start thinking about the cares of the world. The Lord said, you're not fit for the kingdom. He can't use a man whose mind is still in the world. Their body has fringes on, their mind is in the world. Beard in their face, eyes into darkness. You have to be totally in this thing. You have to be mentally in this thing, spiritually in this thing, physically in this thing. You have to be all the way in. Know what you signed up for, man. Let's go to Luke chapter 14. Right? Luke chapter 14. One of my favorite accounts. A lot of bro, you forgot what you signed up for, man. What is wrong with you? Yeah, bro, this is hard. It's supposed to be hard. You have Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. It's not supposed to be easy. This is not damn trying out for pom-poms, man. And cheerleading. It's supposed to be tough. Don't you know this is for the kingdom? The kingdom is not coming easy. It's the kingdom. It's immortality. But you can do it. You can make it. You can endure. It can be done. Joshua did it. He made it to the promised land. Caleb did it. He made it to the promised land. Job had faith. The Lord gave him double of all that he had. Abraham died in faith. Isaac died in faith. Joseph on his deathbed. Jacob before him. These men died in faith. And they endured. Luke chapter 14 and verse 28. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? So you need to count the cost. You have to sit there and make a wise investment and ask yourself, what are you willing to lose in order to gain the kingdom? What things are going to be separate and taken away from you? Your peace of mind. It may be your family. It may be your job. It may be your life. It may be anything. It may be just health, right? It could be stress. These are the things that may be added and taken away from you. It's like a contract, man. Before you get a job or whatever, to give you an offer letter or a contract, you look over and say, I don't know, man. They want me to work 12-hour days. I don't know. You have to count in the cost, man. I don't know if I should be able to do that because any woman to travel an hour and a half to get there, but they paying $90 an hour, but is it worth it? Right? So you want to weigh that stuff in the balance and weigh out the things that may affect you, man. You gotta be willing to lose it all, and you gotta be willing to lose it all at the drop of a dime. Hey, I was watching this movie, I believe last month, called Heat. Right? Heat. It got Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. Got a lot of people in it, man. And it's about. I'm not going to spoil the movie. I'm not going to tell you the whole movie. But Heat. It's about. It's like a bank heist type of deal. But you know, one of the guys in the movie, he said something. Now he wasn't thinking about the scriptures, but when he said it, I was thinking about a precept. You know, and the guy, I can't remember his name, but Robert De Niro was the guy, and he essentially told his crew, he said, you know, in order for us to be successful, and he said, in order for us to kind of make it, he said, you have to be willing to separate from everything that you're attached to at a drop of a dime. I believe he said 10 seconds. Right? He said, anything that you have, rather it's a woman, and he ended up leaving his woman, man. And he kind of liked that woman in that movie. You know? Like, because he left that woman. He was into that woman. But he was willing to, hey, look, it didn't matter. He was a damn thief. But he said, look, anything that I'm trying to get the words, or you can watch the movie on your own, it's whatever, right? But he was like, you know, you have to be willing to lose it all at a drop of a dime, huh? You know, so that's the same thing in this truth, man. I thought about the precept in Luke 14 or the scriptures, you know, and that man, he was willing to lose it, man. Now, another scene in that movie, now that I think about it, you had Al Pacino in the movie. He said that that man, when you watch that movie, he was so into his job, his woman ended up leaving him, huh? You know, I think his woman ended up trying to freak off, right? He really didn't get too much sleep. He was so into his craft You know, and he is there. Everything else, it was folly, man, to him. And that's a movie of the world. You have to be so into this thing, man. So into this truth. Live, breathe, eat, sleep the truth. Before you go to sleep, you should be thinking about precepts, thinking about breakdowns, how to dismantle doctrine, how to examine yourself, how to build yourself up. When you wake up, stop just getting on your phone all day, man. And getting on TikTok and Instagram. Get up and pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and mean it. And stop winging your prayers all the time. I don't know, what do I say? Stumbling and fumbling over your words, man. Like a creep. And fast more, man. Stop just fasting once every 2 months. Get into this thing, man. And count the cost. Because that's what it takes. Right? The Lord is not taking average, man. Your Lord said, be perfect. Right? This Luke chapter 14 and 28. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Lest happily after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Don't be the brother that began to build but didn't finish. He didn't endure. He fell out because he didn't count the cost. Everybody knows when you're building a building, you count the cost. There's a lot of variables that go into construction, from the quantity of workers that you need to the expenses that you're going to take on and material, right? Rather it's iron or steel, rather it's titanium or aluminum. There's a lot. Wind and the weather, feeding your workers, payroll for the workers, architects. There's a lot that goes into that, man. And if you miss one factor, it could destroy your entire damn business, man. You had everything set, but you forgot, you forgot that, whatever, man. Pay your workers or do whatever. Right? You built it on the damn unstable ground. You didn't check the ground. The ground is unstable, known for mudslides. All hell breaks loose. And guess what? Your building falls apart. Or you just run out of gas, man. Or you ran out of material. There's a lot of buildings that they're just not finished. They're incomplete. Endure this truth, man. Pray for the spirit for endurance. Pray for mercy. Pray that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua doesn't take away the Holy Spirit from us, man. That we may see the Lord in the land of the living. But again, with that, I'm going to close up, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Most High willing you are edified. Kwam Yashem. Shalom.